Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Saints are back on the practice field today. Alvin Kamara was back on the practice field with them on Monday, which is fantastic to see. Healthy, which he wasn't for a chunk of the season last year. The question for Kamara, however, is if he'll be able to play a full 17-game schedule for the Saints, considering his arrest in February around the Pro Bowl in Las Vegas. Today, Monday, was the scheduled hearing for Kamara and his legal team. He did not have to be present, but Kamara's attorneys requested another rescheduling of the hearing. They requested an additional 60 days in the case to continue gathering evidence and going through the process, which was granted. So Kamara, if you just look at 60 days from now, you're talking about the beginning of October. The Saints schedule, they open up September the 11th at Atlanta. They're home against Tampa. They're at Carolina. Then week 4 is the game in London against Minnesota on October the 2nd. So it would sort of hold that around that trip to London is when we may have another step in the Kamara legal proceedings, however it may play out. If it's another, continuance, if it's a ruling, if charges are dropped, who knows? I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know what's going to happen legally in this case. I'm just looking at when will Alvin Kamara be available for the Saints and for how long. So it's pretty safe to say at this point that he's going to be there at the start of the season for at least the first 3 weeks. Because if the next part of this court case or the legal proceedings is beginning of October, that's when the Saints go to London. So the first 3 weeks, he should be available, good to go. That could definitely help you get off to a nice start in 3 games where you're at Atlanta, which you should win. You're home against Tampa. I understand Saints have had a lot of success against Tampa and that game's in the Dome. Then you're at Carolina, who I don't think is going to be very good even with Baker Mayfield. And as we've talked about, I'd rather play Carolina on the road with Baker early in the season than late in the season when maybe they figure each other out a little bit better. So remember, the NFL does not have to abide by legal proceedings, as we just saw with Deshaun Watson. They did not bring criminal charges, yet he's still going to face a 6-game suspension. The NFL can do what it wants with respect to its personal conduct policy. And it doesn't have to coincide with what happens through a formal legal proceeding. Just because there hasn't been any finality in the Kamara case legally doesn't mean the NFL won't punish him. But if you've gone to this point since February with nothing from the NFL, where they're just continuing to monitor the legal proceedings, it's hard to imagine that between now and the start of the season, they would make a ruling when there hasn't been any advancement in the legal case. If they've just been monitoring the case, why not continue to monitor the case until we learn more about what's all transpired? I'll remind you that the way that it's written is if in the personal conduct policy is if it's nonviolent, if it's a nonviolent offense, and if it's a player's first ever offense, they can bypass suspension and only be be levied a fine or something along those lines. That's what happened last year with Marshawn Lattimore. It was a nonviolent offense. He had been a model citizen in the NFL. That was his first time ever being in trouble. So, and ultimately everything was dropped, so he wasn't punished at all. But that's why he avoided largely suspension. In this instance, the thing that's concerning about Kamara is that it is a violent occurrence. They beat the hell out of some guy outside of an elevator. So, and it's on video. I don't know how Kamara could skirt that. I'm not saying he will or won't. I don't know. I'm literally just concerned over how many games is he going to be available for the Saints this season. And I think it's safe to say at this point, you'll have him for the first 3. We'll see after that. And it seems like a max 6-game suspension is what he would face. Under the personal conduct policy, the largest suspension levied so far, again, under the personal conduct policy, this isn't, Calvin Ridley with the sports betting thing where he's suspended for a year. This is the personal conduct policy. The most heavy-handed suspension we've seen so far is 10 games, and that was for a player with multiple domestic violence instances. This isn't that. So, could it be less than 6? Hopefully, hope it's none. I mean, I know there may be some moral relativists that are like, all you care about is football when a guy got beat up outside the elevator. I don't know what happened there. Who was the instigator, what the guy said. I mean, quite honestly, I think sometimes in life, dude, sometimes you need to be popped in the mouth. Like if you're popping off. I'm not saying you deserve to have the holy hell beat out of you, but I'm mostly concerned with what's going to happen with Kamara. This is so awkward. I mean, forgive me, but it's so awkward when you're a sports talk host and you have to talk about legalese. It's not my comfort zone. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an attorney. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not going to pretend to know what's going to happen. What I know is Alvin Kamara is going through a legal situation. As a sports talk guy, I'm curious how this impacts the Saints. How many games will he be there? How many will he miss? Same thing goes for Deshaun Watson in Cleveland. There's a lot of people having that conversation today. The avenue that I mostly care about sitting in this chair today is the fact that Deshaun Watson's going to be there week 16 when the Saints play him, provided he's healthy. So I hope Alvin Kamara is there as well because that'll give the Saints the best chance to win. So beginning of 60 days until the next hearing, beginning of October thereabouts is when we'll likely have to just unearth this and start talking about it again. In the meantime, it will be imperative that Abram Smith, the undrafted rookie out of Baylor, or Malcolm Brown potentially, Mark Ingram, whoever it may be, that somebody steps up and provides real quality depth at the running back spot with the uncertainty around Alvin Kamara. I think that's the best way to say it. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.